including those who are reaching us through Smart Bilal, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Radio 1584, and all Medina media platforms. Today's Jummah lecture at Masjid Al-Haq, entrance of Nurdeen, Victoria, South Africa, is entitled Islamic Solutions to the Current Socio-Economic Problems by Sheikh Nurdeen Yaseen, who has a BA Islamic Law Sharia degree from the Medina University, Saudi Arabia, who also has a Master's in Law from the University of Victoria.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده وبعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I think by now we are all aware of the challenges and the difficulties that the whole world is facing, especially when it comes to the socio-economic challenges. So inshallah, in these few minutes, I will break down the talk into 3 different segments, inshallah. The first, I want to hit you, inshallah, with some statistics. And the second portion would then look at the solutions from an Islamic perspective. Then lastly, inshallah, we give a clear indication, a clear example from the Quran itself, how we can then put everything together. With regards to the socio-economic problems that we are facing all over the world, we find that on a daily basis as human beings and as Muslims, we are dealing with issues like poverty, high unemployment. We are dealing with inequality. We are dealing with the high crime rate. We are dealing with the drug abuses. So there are many things that we are dealing with, and as a world, as a community, we are trying to find the solutions to these particular problems. When we look at South Africa, for example, the statistics tell us that as we are sitting right now, the national unemployment rate is about 33.4%. And when we look at that, 63.9% of the youth between the age of 15 to 24 are not employed. We also know from the statistics that 18.2 million of people in South Africa are living in extreme poverty. These are the numbers. When we go further, according to the World Bank and the other institutions, when we look at South Africa, it is one of the most unequal societies in the world. So like I'm saying, these are the numbers. What are the causes of these problems? And what is the solution? When we look at what has been suggested from other circles, from the non-Muslims, from our politicians, we can easily say that these so-called solutions are not going to provide the answer that we're looking for. When they look at inequality, unemployment, and all that, some have suggested that we need to deal with immigration. We need to do dula to correct the wrongs of the past. Some are suggesting that what we require right now is what we call the minimum wage. That at the very least have suggested that we need the social grant. When COVID hit, we know that it was suggested that the poor people must be given 350 rand. Some researchers are saying even the 350 rand won't address the challenges that we have. It is suggested that at the very minimum, there is need for it to be at least 561 rand to meet the demands that we have. Now, from a political or legal or whatever perspective it might be, we find that these solutions definitely are not going to work. Why? Because they are based on a foundation of capitalism. They are based at the benefit and the cost. The cost-benefit analysis. Because they are looking at the human being, the community, from a specific angle, from a specific eye, which does not really respond to the challenges and does not really provide a solution to the problem that we have. From an Islamic perspective, it is very simple, it is very easy. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who has created us. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has given us these different conditions that we have. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals to us in the Quran that indeed in this particular book, in these words that are coming from Allah, you are going to find the solution to whatever problem that you are going to face. So what does Islam have to say about these socio-economic problems that we are facing? What is the solution from Islam? When we look at the lives of the Muslims, we are not going to find those solutions. We can only refer to the Quran, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said. Because when we look at the Muslims, we, the very Muslims, we have imitated, we have looked at the non-Muslims, and we have looked at their system of capitalism. We have looked at their own systems of governance, and we said that is the best solution. So we have ended up copying what they are doing, but at the very same time, we have not offered the people the alternative. We have not offered them the solution from an Islamic perspective, because we are too busy looking at their own solutions and trying to make them Islamic, but they are not Islamic. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all. ذَلِكَ أَمْرُ اللَّهِ. This is the amr, the command from Allah. أَنزَلَهُ إِلَيْكُمْ. He has revealed it to you. وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهِ. And whoever fears most now. Firstly, the spiritual dimension. Secondly, the social dimension. Thirdly, the legal and the institutional framework. With regards to the spiritual solution, and this is where the West has gone wrong, and this is where we as Muslims are also starting to go wrong, because we have eliminated Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the equation. We have taken the Quran and then we've thrown it away. We are not looking at the Quran. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. This is indeed a book that was revealed by Allah. There is no doubt in it. And we as Muslims, we have taken it and thrown it away, and we have looked at the West and say, what do you say about this? And the West, proven even by the war in Ukraine, the West is clueless. They don't have the solution to the problems. So from the spiritual aspect, as Muslims, there is a simple principle that this dunya is a struggle. This dunya is a struggle. Our poverty, whatever it is a struggle, but it is not permanent. When it is a struggle, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals in the Quran and provides us with the guidelines as to how we are supposed to deal with this struggle. And the life of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is a practical example of how then to act in this particular struggle. So when we look at the issues, the problems that we have, and look at it and say, this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed, and we are saying that the solution is with Allah, then we have started to solve the problem that we have. The second one, the social aspect. When we look at the issues of poverty, Islam is saying that poverty is a multi-dimensional issue. It is a multi-dimensional problem that won't go away by us throwing money at it. Because when the government decides that when there is poverty, when there is inequality, we are going to provide 350 rand for the poor people, it is an assumption that after receiving the 350 rand, that this is going to solve the problem. That the reality is that it is never going to solve the problem. It has never solved the problem in the past. It is never going to solve the problem. Islam is centered on understanding what poverty is. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reviews in the Quran and tells us about the issue of poverty. And to an extent, He also tells us that you don't need to shy away when you're poor. Because according to the narrations, even the poor are amongst the first people to enter into paradise. This is the beauty of Islam. We have an obligation to then tell the people what is in the Quran, but we are shying away from what is in the Quran. So Islam emphasizes on unity, brotherhood in humanity, and the basis upon which the society is built is that me and you, we are brothers. What I feel, what I have, the challenges that I have, I am supposed to share with you because you are my brother. Not because of the color of our skin, not because of the village that we come from, but because of La ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasulullah. And that is thicker than blood itself. So from an Islamic perspective, this is what we have to look at. Lastly, the legal and the institutions. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it very clear through the life of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. If someone steals from your community, you don't look whether he's coming from a rich family or a poor family. The rule applies to everyone in the same way. لو سرقت, if the daughter of Muhammad, Fatima, had stolen, then he, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam himself, was going to amputate her arm. It is not about your lineage, it is not about your political power. It is about what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed and what is the ruling and how we are supposed to implement it. In terms of the institutions, Allahu Akbar, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala encourages us in the Quran. مَثَلُ الَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. The example of those who give in the path of Allah. كَمَثَلِ حَبَّةٍ, like the one who sows one seed into the ground, and from it he has many multiples of seeds. The institution of sadaqah, the institution of zakah, the institution of waqf. When we have those in our communities, then the problems of the poor, the problems of the community, those are then safeguarded by that. These are the instructions from Allah to show the others the beauty of Islam. And if we have the socio-economic problems within our own Muslim community, if we are able to then solve that based on the Quran, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed, then the other communities will be able to learn from us. From our actions, inshallah, our actions speak louder than our words. Our actions speak louder than our words. And on the day of judgment, inshallah, we will have done the da'wah that we are supposed to do. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easier upon us and grant us the understanding of this beautiful religion, and make it easier for us to implement and act upon the knowledge that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed in the Quran. Jazakumullahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.